In this video series, we'll be going over all of the hidden treasures that we could find in the War Within. So, for the first zone, we'll be covering the Isle of Dorn in this video.
This is True Endgame. Welcome to the video.
So for the first zone, we will start in the Isle of Dorn. The first treasure we'll go for is Thak's treasure, which is over at Storm's Watch by the south side. By the bottom of the building over at the mountainous area, we'll find Thak sitting on this small hill. We'll interact with him and talk to him a little bit, which makes him start to move. From that hill, he'll go a few meters into this corner, and then he digs up his very own treasure. We don't need a key or anything special required to loot it. It'll be as easy as that. The next treasure is going to be Hanna's Locket, and this one requires quite a bit of traveling to complete. First, we'll want to talk to Freysworn Letitia, located inside this cave by the waterfall, to get the item Crab Guiding Branch. Then we have to find these 6 crabs in the zone. To help find these little crabs, I'd recommend making the macro/target pearlescent shell crab. So the first crab will be located by the 3 shields on top of the ridges behind some of these trees. It'll be kind of hard to see it at first, but with the macro it should help locate it. The next one is found north of Storm's Watch by the hills, and it'll be over at this cliffside just near the tree. The third crab is going to be at Storm's Watch over at the big building with a tree on top, and this one is going to be quite tricky to see since it's standing on one of the branches of the big tree. With the macro I mentioned earlier, it should help you see it better. The next crab is going to be south of the tree over at Dar Ostan. We'll want to head to the west side of the Crystal Mountain near the edge, and we'll find the little guy by the trees and over at the ground. The fifth crab is going to be by the Bosk Root Basin, and we'll find it by the roots of one of the trees. The last crab is going to be located in Cinderbrew Meadery, and once again it'll be sitting on top of a root of a tree. Before we go back to Freysworn Letitia, here's a map showcasing all of the pearlescent shell crabs locations. Once we have all 6 crabs, we can head back to the waterfall cave, and we'll see all of the shell crabs around the tree, and we'll be able to get Hanna's Locket, which allows us to summon this holographic horse, which is quite cool. The next treasure is going to be the mysterious orb, which we'll get by returning a lost orb to this water elemental NPC. The item is lost at the bottom of the waterfall where we're at in the ocean, so we'll just have to bring it to them, and you'll have this done in a jiffy. No extra steps required. The next treasure is going to be the web-wrapped axe, and we'll find this item by Dar Kajad in this lone tower. There aren't any special criteria or steps, we just need to loot it in order to get it, and from this we'll get the Storm's Defender axe. The next treasure is going to be the Mosswool Flower. To get it, we'll first have to herd a lost mosswool back into the nearby ranch in Rambleshire, and afterwards a flower will spawn. Now this achievement is bugged for some people. In my case, it took about 10 minutes for the flower to spawn, while other players reported that it didn't even spawn at all. So if this happens to you, then I'd suggest typing /reload, and if that doesn't work, then we can come back later. Once you pick it up, you'll get the Null Lotus, which is a crafting region for herbalism. The next treasure is going to be the Jade Pearl, and we'll find this in this sort of cove area just off the coast, and the pearl requires no puzzle or extra steps. You'll just have to interact with it and you'll be able to get it. The next treasure is going to be the Kobold Pickaxe, which is over at Morning Rise. The pickaxe is right on the statue platform, and there isn't any special item or puzzle attached, so just interact with it and you will get the item. The next treasure is going to be the Infused Cinderbrew, which sits on a desk where Leifar is over at Boulder Springs. No puzzles or items required, just right click it and you'll get it. If for some reason the brew isn't there, then someone else got to it first, and you'll have to wait for it to respawn, which is about 15 to 20 minutes. And this one is also bugged. In my case, when I tried to loot it, it didn't give me credit. It just said the item doesn't even exist. So unfortunately, if this happens to you, you'll have to wait for it to respawn. Yeah, that's the beauty of beta. The next treasure is going to be the turtle's thanks, and it'll be over at Freywold Village behind this tree. The turtle is accompanying a dying rat, and we'll have to revive that rat by feeding it food. So we'll have to give 5 Dornish pike, which we can purchase from the auction house, or we can fish it up pretty much anywhere in Khazalgar. The next item we'll need is 1 golden gill trout, also bought from the auction house or fished up in any pond or water area in Khazalgar. And the last item is we'll will need a single piece of fish and chips, which requires Kazalgar cooking level 50 in order to make. Once we have all three, we'll feed it to the rat and get the turtle as a battle pet. The next treasure is going to be the mushroom cap, and in order to get it, we'll first have to talk to the NPC Ulort, the self-exiled, over at the Boskut Basin on top of this hill area. But in order for us to get the reward, we'll first have to find his lost cap or his hat. We'll find his cap in the nearby forest by the pond area over at this coordinate, and once we have it, we'll give it back to them and get rewarded a Myco Bloom. The next treasure is going to be the Shimmering Opal Lily, and we'll find this inside the cave by the Opal Crack. We'll want to jump into this chasm and head towards the very bottom of this cave until we find this area full of flowers and a pond in the middle. Across that pond, we'll find the lily and we'll pick it up, easy as that, no requirement needed. The last treasure in the zone is going to be the magical treasure chest located in this small island off the coast of Dornegal. First, we'll have to talk to this fish and push it back into the water. Then that fish will ask us to feed it, so we'll have to collect 5 of these plump snap crabs along the shore nearby and we'll feed it to the fish. Afterwards, the fish will spawn a chest and we'll get the battle pet sapphire crab. Now, here is a map showcasing all of the hidden treasures locations in the Isle of Dorn. If you found this information useful, then leave a like and subscribe, and be sure to check out True Endgame's Mount Collector tool to help you in your mount farming journey. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.